Yes, people, welcome back to FPL Hive. We are talking about game week 5 transfers. Should you sell, wait, or hold? Stay tuned, lock in, and like the video. And the first person we are going to talk about, people, is Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes. A very hot and cold season. People are already saying, he's unhappy in that position. He's now come out and said he's unhappy. Will he get moved further forward, and will he still play in this deeper role? But Bruno Fernandes still does get FPL points. Do you think we should sell him, wait, or hold? Chelsea, Brentford, Sunderland in the next 3 games.
You know what? This is a tough one. Like, I'm not mad if people sell, but I still think the correct answer is that you hold Bruno Fernandes. The reason I say that, Chelsea, of course, is a difficult game. We know how good Chelsea are, especially in that midfield area. Brentford in game week 6, you can probably say that's a favourable fixture. But that game week 7 fixture against Sunderland at home is a good fixture. And one thing we said with Bruno Fernandes, DEFCON, 2 out of 4 games he's got it so far. Manchester City was nowhere near. But against Arsenal in the opening day, he got 11, so was 1 away. Fulham, he got 13. Burnley, he got 17. And he's a 90-minute man on penalties. He's already got 1 penalty so far. Listen, United can't get anywhere, surely, can they?
Yeah,
Well,
I think it's a hold.
Let me not ask that.
Yeah, don't even say that. Let's not talk about that. But I think it's a hold. Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think against Chelsea, if Man United are due to get anything, I think he's going to be one of the bright sparks or the reason why we do. I also think he could be getting DEFCON potentially in this type of game. I think there's going to be a lot of end-to-end action. I think there's going to be a lot of contributions from the midfield. But I also think the Brentford and Sunderland games, he's on penalties. He is going to be involved in the forward play. I just think these are the type of games that Bruno enjoys. Chelsea at home and Man United need a result. Going to Brentford half 12 against a team that has lost their best attackers. And then you've got Sunderland, which is a promoted team at home. A no-brainer, potentially a captain pick for that game week, if I'm honest with you as well. So must be a hold for me.
Yeah, and you know what? Bruno Fernandes could slightly become a differential in terms of game week 6. We know a lot of people are going to play the wild card. How many people are now going to wild card with Bruno Fernandes in? I'm not too sure. So if you don't and you hold him, especially for that game week 7 fixture against Sunderland, it could be very, very nice. But listen, we're going to say hold for now. So the next player is a player that at one point I really liked, but I feel like last week changed everything for me. And that is Brennan Johnson, Ty. Brighton this week, but he didn't start last week. So now, what are your opinions on Brennan Johnson?
I don't think he's going to be a starter for this team. I know he didn't, start yesterday for Tottenham in the Champions League. However, these type of games are the type of games he can maybe come on late on, stretch the pitch a bit, Brighton away. We know it's going to be end-to-end. They've got Leeds after that as well and Wolves in between at home. They're going to sit back in a low block. I just don't think Brennan Johnson's going to get enough starts now. It seems like Thomas Frank really likes Papi Sarr in that sort of midfield as well to make it a bit more robust. And Xavi Simons and Kudus have got the wing positions locked down. I was at the Spurs-Bournemouth game where Brennan Johnson came off in the 50th minute and the fans do not take to him. The fans do not rate him. And I think where Tottenham are aspiring to be, which is challenging for Europe, you have to play your best players, which is Kudus and Xavi Simons each week. So for me, I don't want to keep, Brennan Johnson based off just coming on 20 minutes and hoping for a return. For me, with the price, you can go and invest that elsewhere. He is a sell.
Yeah, you know what surprised me was Xavi Simons didn't play in the number 10 role. Because a lot of people thought Xavi Simons would play centrally in it, but he played that wide, which, listen, I can understand as well. But then that literally ruined Brennan Johnson as an FPL asset. So listen, Ty, I agree with you. Brennan Johnson sell. So the next player, Ty, is someone that I think the FPL community absolutely hate right now. And you know what? Rightly so. Ollie Watkins, Ty. Take it away.
Headache. He gives me a headache because I look at his fixtures. I'm like, how have you not scored yet in, how many odd games for Aston Villa, this season? I'm going to hold. And then I'm going to be, in terms of my decision right now, put him under weight. I'm holding him because he's in my team. But in terms of am I holding him for the long term? I don't know, because the price point for me is a big issue. 8.9 million now. You've got Alexander Isak that is going to be fit for Liverpool soon. And I'm already thinking about that transfer. Watkins out, Isak in. Yoker is a potential option as well. So I think when you look at them guys as assets, they're free scoring more. Isak's coming into a Liverpool team. You've got Yoker is going into an Arsenal team where their fixtures change. He's a wait for me because they've got Sunderland away and then they've got Fulham at home. And then they've got Burnley at home. They're 3 type of fixtures where you're like, if you don't score or return or build some form in them, then you've got to go. Because after that, it's Tottenham away and it's Manchester City and then Liverpool, I believe. So the fixtures do really change. So I'm putting him under weight. And that could either be for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending if people are looking to wildcard or not. But he's safe for now. But why do I hold him for these next 2 weeks? I have to see some returns, surely.
Ty, I agree with you. He's on a wait. But listen, if people wanted to sell, I don't blame them. Because I watched the Everton game. He had an extra 0. Aston Villa were appalling offensively, kind of thing, innit? The
Yeah.
only reason I'm leaning towards wait, they got the first goal yesterday in the League Cup.
Yeah.
Harvey Elliott, could he add some sort of like creativity to that side? Potentially. So
Jadon
that's
Sancho
why
as well.
that's why you probably just give it, let's say, 1 or 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
Otherwise, listen, get this guy going.
So the next player we are talking about was the player that was most spoken about in FPL Game Week 1. But now we're on Game Week 5. No one's talking about him. To Johnny Reijnders. Sell, wait, or hold.
You know what, Ty? I've probably been, let's say, Reijnders' the biggest critic in FPL over the last couple of weeks, innit? But I think he was very unfortunate not to get a return against Manchester United.
Should have scored.
He had that shot where Haaland paid him in, and I feel like if he had scored that, everyone's perception of Reijnders would have changed. Of course, next week they have Arsenal, or this week, should I say, they have Arsenal. That's a very difficult fixture. But after that, Manchester City, Burnley, Brentford, Everton. Those are 3 favourable fixtures. Then after that, they have Aston Villa as well. And especially with the injuries that Man City have, he's still getting the license to attack the box. I think, you know what? I would say hold.
Yeah, and I think when you look at their fixtures off the Arsenal way, I think the Premier League fixtures are difficult anyway. I've looked at them already, and I'm thinking there's a lot of 50-50s in there. Then they've got Burnley at home and then Brentford away. I think them 2 games after Arsenal are very appetizing, especially when you know Marmoush is out and you know that Cherky's out. So I think, yeah, I have to agree with you.
So the next player is someone that you owned at one point, Ty, and you've already sold him, and that is Florian Wirtz. Everton this week, Merseyside derby. Could he get his first attacking return?
Potentially, but I think Everton are going to be a tricky team to break down. McAllister, is he going to be back? We don't know. Does that mean Szoboszlai playing back in the midfield? So it could be a change of dynamic for Liverpool. But Florian Wirtz, I think, is overrated, personally. I think he is overhyped. And again, poor against Burnley. Not saying poor. He tried. A couple of little 1-2 touches didn't quite come off because they sat back in a blow block. But he hasn't yet got off the mark. And I just feel like, again, it's another thing in terms of Watkins at the price point. Can you get players like a Semenyo or whoever it is that can come in, like an Mbumo with Man United's couple of fixtures that are coming up nice, that you can come in and see, right, they're going to impact the game more or probably get FPL points over Wirtz. You know, got Everton at home, then they've got Palace away that we know is going to be defensively quite tough. Then they've got Chelsea, and then they have United after the international break. I'd wait for this week, but after that, for Palace, if you got rid, I understand. But if you got rid after Palace, I definitely understand. So wait, because it's only 2 weeks.
You know, one thing I would say, we know Liverpool are probably the best attack in the league, but I don't think they're like, let's say, attacking dynamics are fully clicked just yet, kind of thing, isn't it? And it's understandable because they made like a considerable amount of changes in the front line. But even when you watch Florian Wirtz, if you look at his heat map, I remember I sent it to you a couple of weeks back where it was comparing his role at Liverpool to Bayer Leverkusen, and he's played slightly deeper for Liverpool, kind of thing, involved more in the build-up rather than, let's say, the final third, isn't it? That's something where I think Florian Wirtz probably has to learn. And listen, he's shown glimpses against, for example, Arsenal, where I thought, especially in the second half, he was very good, isn't it? But for now, especially for FPL, I think wait is the right decision.
And now we're looking at another striker, and we're looking at another Spurs player. Started the season brightly, but as we know, a lack of consistency can hurt you in FPL. Richarlison owners, what would you be advising them?
See, this is the difficult one because I still probably lean towards thinking Richarlison's Tottenham's main number 9. But at the same time, like we saw last week, Matthias Tell got minutes up front, which really took me off guard because obviously Matthias Tell hasn't necessarily hit the heights of Tottenham. But I would say that's probably because Richarlison, I'm guessing, was playing for Brazil quite late on, came back.
Yeah.
So that's probably the reasoning behind it. But then he also got 77 minutes against Villarreal and Colomwani came on. So now we know Colomwani is going to take minutes off him. There's that opportunity for Matthias Tell to play up front. I would probably say sell. I think there's better options.
I think it's sell. And I actually think when you look at the overall profiles of all 3 strikers, once they're all up in gear and fit after the next international break, I think Colomwani will be the number 1 choice at Tottenham.
And the fixtures are good, but can you guarantee that Richarlison is going to start against Brighton, Wolves and Leeds? I think the answer is no, innit? So the next play is Chris Wood. Hi. We all thought he was a 90-minute man going into the season. Against Arsenal, 59 minutes. Now, what are your thoughts on Chris Wood going forward? Because he does have Burnley and Sunderland next.
Yeah. That's the big thing. Because of the fixtures, he's a wait. but he's not a long-term hold because they've got Calamuendo, they've got Igor Jesus, trying to get in there as well. Dan and Doy can also sometimes play up there. They have got options now, and we've got to remember what's the big thing about Nottingham Forest this season. They're on a European tour. They play Burnley on Saturday, but they're off to Real Betis on Wednesday. They come back and then play Sunderland, and then they're off to playing at Midtjylland at home. So when you look at it, Chris Wood's probably having aspirations of I want to play in Europe as well. So are they going to now start prioritizing a little bit of Europe, or if not the league? I think they should prioritize the league and play the Calamuendos and Igor Jesus more in Europe. But that does mean rotation. Some of them might get 70 minutes. Some of them might get 60 minutes. I don't think Woods is a guaranteed 90-minute man. However, for these two fixtures coming up, which is Burnley away and Sunderland at home, he doesn't need 90 minutes to impact the game. He could score in 60 minutes to score 2 and be replaced. He is a weight.
And I also think now, this game, you probably expect Ange to be setting up Nottingham Forest a bit more offensively compared to the game against Arsenal, just because he's had more time under the training ground. So yeah, for now, I would say wait as well. So the next player is Kudus. Is he going to join his Tottenham teammates and sell, or should we wait or hold Kudus for now, Ty?
He is a hold. I've got him. And yes, he does concern me because he seems like more of a touchline ringer rather than being involved in the whole build-up play. I feel like Xabi Simons is more like in the faces more. But I think with Brighton away, game that's going to be open in transition as well, I think Kudus could be vital in them games. Wolves at home. It's a home game against Wolves. You're just going to keep him in. That's just the way it is. And then you've got Leeds away, another game where, Leeds play expansive football and they're going to be open at times as well. And then he's got Aston Villa at home. So I think for the next 4 game weeks, if you're looking just to save transfers and reserve a bit of your budget, I think Kudus could be a hold the next four fixtures. And if he gets returns in 2 of them games, you'd probably be happy because his XG has not been great. It's been below 0.10 in most of his games so far. So I'm not expecting big returns, but 2 returns out of 4. And I feel like I've got a little bit of my value back. So he is a hold for me.
You know what? His XG against West Ham was 0.47, but I'm not too sure if you watched the game. It literally came right at the end when Pedro Porro put a ball in and Kudus had a shot from close range where he probably should have scored in it. But I think with Kudus, it's an interesting one because, of course, like his role probably doesn't benefit, let's say, FPL points, but his minutes were very, very good. Probably better than I would have thought. Even yesterday, again, he nearly got a full 90. Against West Ham, he stayed on right until the end. Bournemouth again, 90 minutes. The first 2 games in the Premier League against Burnley and Manchester City, he got 84 and 85.
Yeah, he's always playing 80 minutes. Yeah, and I'll take that.
Yeah, so I'm with you. I'll probably say hold for now, but it's an interesting
He needs to start delivering, yeah. And the next player we're going to talk about is a defender, Chelsea Cucurella, one player that you have been an advocate for all season, and he has been performing, not just on FPL, but I'm on about aesthetically on the eye. He's getting forward. He's involved in play. I saw him coming against Brentford, and he was basically in the penalty box. Mark Cucurella, United at home next. What are you thinking about that one?
You know what? If we're looking at Cucurella as an individual asset, I would still say you have to hold because I feel like the benching against Brentford was more to do with he obviously played minutes for Spain in the international break, innit?
And how funny. Do you remember I said to you he could be benched?
Yeah, you did, to be fair. And you were right. So fair play, Ty. But also, I don't think Chelsea's dynamics clicked against Brentford in terms of they had Hatter on one side and Fofana on the other. Like, it weren't really working.
When Cucurella and James come on, they were a different team.
And I'm not too sure if you watched the full game kind of thing, but there was a point where I can't remember who it was from Chelsea. Someone put a ball in, and Cucurella was literally back post, but Coyote got a little touch on it.
Yeah.
If Coyote didn't get touched, that would have been a Cucurella open goal, and then it would have been that Cucurella goal that I've been screaming for. That I think it's coming soon enough, kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. I think he's a very good player. He's consistent, and he is the first choice left back. So I think that's one thing that you feel comfortable with. You know that he is going to be playing.
And I've got a question for you. I feel like Cucurella is probably the most, let's say, he has the best finishing ability out of any single fullback in the Premier League.
Technically, he's so secure. Yeah, he is. He's real Spaniard. He's Spaniard. Yeah,
and I feel like he's probably top 3 left backs in the world right now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I have to agree with that. I've always liked Cucurella, even when he was going through his slump because of mental health and what happened with child and stuff. But, big up to him. He's fought back and he's a brilliant player right now. So the next player we're talking about is Hugo Ekitike. Now, we know that Isaac is sniffing for minutes. So what are you thinking when it comes to Liverpool and a lot of the games they have in the Carabao Cup, Champions League, rotation? Is he a sell, is he a hold, or is he a wait?
I think he's a wait, but it's more to do with, I watched the Liverpool game against Burnley, and I spoke about it on my team selection video regarding Cody Gakpo kind of thing, innit? I feel like you see against low blocks, Cody Gakpo in my eyes really, really struggles because a lot of Liverpool fans have said this where he's very, very one-dimensional in terms of you know what he's going to do, and that is that cut inside. He's going to either cross it or shoot kind of thing, isn't it?
Yep.
And especially against low blocks where teams are very well organized, I don't feel like that works every single time. Like you have to have, like, let's say, more unpredictability as a winger, innit? And we saw
like a Harvey Elliott, for example.
And we saw, for example, like, you know, that Rio, however you say his name,
yeah.
You know, when he came on, it seemed like his pass selection, his shot, cross, he decided at the last second, didn't it? And it made it harder, for example, for defenders to defend against because he really created an impact when he came on. And there was a lot of times when I looked at Cody Gakpo, for example, he could have started in Robertson where Robertson was making a brilliant overlapping run. And he didn't because he had already made a decision to have like a shot or a cross. Agreed. And against lower blocks, I feel like Cody Gakpo has to do a lot of work, which is why I'm thinking Ekitike could actually make that left-hand side his own. Because there's also a point in the game where Ekitike had a run down the left-hand side. He put a ball in and no one was there kind of thing, innit?
Yeah.
And that was like, raw, like Ekitike, you can do that on the left-hand side. So, and obviously people have said he can play on the left.
And he did like it when he was at Frankfurt. He used to like coming off the left anyway.
Yeah, so now I'm looking at Ekitike. It's kind of changed my mind. Like, of course, he's a weight for now, isn't it?
Him and Gakpo could rotate. Isak could play up top and Ekitike could be left, or it could be Gakpo. Now they're both not guaranteed fully minutes.
Because now I'm looking at how I view Cody Gakpo differently and valuing Ekitike as an FPL asset a bit more. So now I'm going to say wait.
Yeah, it could be a wait. I think the long-term aim would probably be just have one of Salah or Isak and play the one that's guaranteed the minutes. The other two for the price point could be both sells in a few weeks, but we'll discuss that. And as you can see there, people, there is our 4-4-2 formation of hold, wait, or sell. Make sure you get your comments in. Let us know your thoughts. If you have any questions, we'll always get back to you. But like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.